we are.
Right on.
That's where we are. And so I thought with my presentation, I would just continue from where we were. And after our last meeting, had a good chat with Barbara and decided that I would do the presentation. And I had no idea what it would be. So I said, well, we'll start with the Temple of Eagles. That's where we are in our annual 13 moon cycle. And now we're moving to number 8. And I see number 8 in the temple is mystic transmissions penetrate my soul. Well, these Sabian symbols that have shown up in that last presentation, and now what I've done is certainly penetrating my soul. That's what I'm feeling. So I said, well, then I shall present that.
Right on.
So here we go. Eagles coming in, and I took this pic, I think it was last year, but in its image, I'm really seeing the axis mundi, and I'm also seeing the temple of eagles in this tree. In that way. So here we were in the last new moon, right at the peak of this temple of eagles. And now we're stepping what appears to be down, but that's the 8th step. And that is interesting. The lightning path says that from 1 to 7 is steps dealing with our lower self, and now we're moving to deal with our higher self. And now we're on this 8th step. And last cycle from June to today and the new moon, we were in 7 men right at the peak. And I see under 7 is introduction and reintroduction to other worlds. And I'm really feeling introduced to the Sabian symbols. Of course, there's leadership and commitment and belief in oneself. And I said, yes, I can do this presentation. And I like this gathering goals. I need a little more clarity on that. I'm sure Dwayne can share.
I love it. That is a new word to the universal data bank.
Yeah. So I have a feeling that's what these new moon and full moon sessions are. They're gathering goals.
That's great.
So in the last full moon meeting, Barbara noticed the tree that was behind the rock face that I had visited and suggested that I make friends with that tree. And so I did. I think it was that afternoon after our meeting, I walked out and I always thought the tree was up on top, but it turns out it's kind of growing out of the rock face behind it. There's the trunk. And it's a Gary oak. And apparently those trees were growing before the Ice Age. The Ice Age never made it to the island. So they're quite old. And here's the visit with my tree, looking up to its top branches. And now from this viewpoint, from the tree, this is what I get.
Oh.
Yeah, so I have this real feeling that it's a big world out there. And very abundant, very expansive. So thank you, Barbara, for recommending that tree visit. There's even a couple of benches up there to sit on, but I was sitting on the rock edge. It was nice. So I know we're talking about the moon Sabians, but these, I want to touch first on the sun Sabian that came up last presentation. This is a sun painting by Sophia. So I thought I would put that up there to show the difference between the sun Sabians and the moon Sabians.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
So these are paintings from the James Burgess site. And these are done by Ruby Fumiski. And these come up with every Sabian symbol on the Burgess site. And for me, this is the old stone face. And there's the tree right above it. And
Beautiful.
of course, initially when I saw it, I was drawn to that. This piece here looks like that flying Mayan. And then this stone face over here looks a bit Egyptian to me.
And I keep seeing a smaller face to the left of that one.
Left of which one?
Of the big guy.
Oh, okay. You have to point it out. I'm not seeing it.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. On the side.
Yep.
Like this one?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
To the
Yeah, that's the one that I feel is kind of an Egyptian looking face.
Mm-hmm.
But there's that one, and then in the shadow, there's another face.
Back here?
Yes, right in there.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Oh,
Sari.
cool.
She's peeking around from the shadow.
That's right.
Right. Yeah, that one almost looks maybe kind of Olmec.
Yeah. Right on. The mother culture.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is a real power spot. I'm really feeling it and really enjoying it out there. And I went to visit it the other day. And I'm coming off of it and walking back to the car. And suddenly there's a fire engine and an ambulance, and the people are out with the gurney. And I'm walking towards them, and looks like the chief, he says, we got a 911 call from here. Did you notice? I said, no, there's nothing happening back there. I'm not sure where this is happening, but it wasn't happening up on that part and along this path. Okay, then, thanks for your help. So.
A little bit of mystery.
Yeah, they were in mystery for sure. And then I took my chair and was sitting on the beach, and then I saw them coming back with an empty gurney, so they never found anything. But yeah, I really love this spot. So I went to AI and put in a few things, and here's the old stone face which is me. And I can really feel it in grasping at the teacher and not necessarily realizing all along that it's me. So I'm embracing that, and it's just sharing the truth. So yeah, it's becoming our own ideal. We become whatever we idealize. And I'm really feeling that from your sharing of last week and its position, and if I go back, I can tell, yeah, all those teachers, I emulated them, but actually put them a bit on a pedestal. So when I decided to do the presentation, I looked at, oh, what's the sun, what's the Sabian symbol at the moment? And it was at Cancer 3, the strength of will. So facing up to challenges with ardent determination. I said, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to present, but I'll figure something out. And it's very funny. I was looking at the Burgess site, but then I went to sabiansymbols.com and a different site. And what came up, and it says a man bundled in fur leads a shaggy deer. And what this was an Arctic explorer leads a reindeer through canyons. And my monkey artist trickster self immediately said, wait a minute, why doesn't the Arctic explorer just let the reindeer lead? Maybe follow it. So I had this trickster energy show up. When I look at the picture, it's I've had the nickname of Buck in the past, and when I had a deer soul retrieval come in, it seemed to be the gentle feminine, and I had some experiences where Buck came through in the masculine, and Buck knows how to lead the pack, but when danger's there, it also knows to run. So this is a very interesting image, and we'll revisit it in just a minute. So this came up the other day on July 2nd, and this is the painting I did in the 1008 Buddha project. And this is where I reconnected with Dwayne over that. So that would be like 14 years ago. And I was talking about the nickname Buck. When I was young, when I was 6, my older brother gave me the nickname Moon. And that was from standing out in center field during baseball games and staring up at the sky and not really being in the game. And it was affectionate, not necessarily an insult, but my mom said, "Oh no, it's not that. It's your nice round head." So this leads me to all the connections with the lightning path, and Dane Rudyard and Dwayne turned me on to that. and all about the cycles of the moon. And just how the lightning path is so lunar with the 13 moons. And this is available on the lightning path site. Another form of the temple where a person can actually download this template and put in all their glyphs along the way. So that's available. And now we've moved into, I think I'm pronouncing Chib, this new moon. And isn't it interesting that it's mystic transmission? And that's what I find the Sabian symbols to be.
Mm.
And connecting with the golden pillar, conduit. And it's the number 8, the 8th step. And I see at the bottom, let's see if I can read that. Restraining oneself to one's own world. Well, that's what I've decided to do, so I'll restrain it and make it about myself. And this is a selfie I took up with my new friend, the Gary Oak on top of the rock.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And now we'll move to the moons, the Sabian symbols at the moon positions. This is a painting I think I did about 11 or 12 years ago. And had a bit of foreshadowing with all our dolphin and whale energy in the group. And the funniest part about this painting is that in painting this dolphin, trying to get it to smile, I had a lot of laughs over that because it was not coming out, and I had a few redos. So it created a lot of laughter.
Hmm.
So my moon is at Gemini 5, which is going beyond established limits and the collective opinions. And it's Sabian Symbol quote from Rudyard here is a revolutionary magazine asking for action. And that's the painting. And I've always felt that. As a teenager, of course, and the war and the draft and everything else. It's a radical magazine on the edges of society. And that's where I feel I have been and where I like to be. And it can have anger, that red I see, against the bullying of order. And I just feel there's this kind of a bit of push and pull between the radical and order and the Buddha, and saying, before one speaks, how true is it and how helpful is it? I'd say my radical self, when I look at the US politics and Biden and his performance, I say to myself, where's Jill? Where's the feminine? Why would, in a relationship, allow your partner, who's to me losing it, why not just abdicate and move on and make room for new energy? So with James Burgess, he talks about, well, Rudyard talks about the progressive movement of each Sabian symbol around the zodiac, the 360 degrees. And Burgess says, in order to master your, for example, my Gemini 5, I need to master Gemini 4, the one before, so going backwards. And my Gemini 4 is accessing primitive wisdom. The holly and mistletoe reawaken old memories of Christmas. And this Sabian symbol is about, am I going to do the ritual or not? And either way is okay. I just need to choose. So the ritual of Christmas itself, I'm not interested in, but winter solstice, I am in that darkest night and bringing the light to it. But also the holly is an evergreen that is growing during the winter. And it's also about the mysteries of the rituals. And just last year, there's this holly on my walk. And we think of holly and its sharp points on the leaves. But actually, that's only for about 6 or 7 feet. After that, all the leaves are smooth above it. That's just a design that the holly's done to keep the deer from eating it.
Hmm.
And there's the picture of the holly and mistletoe.
Mm-hmm.
So for some examples, I have the birth charts done for my puppets. This is Kopi. Kopi was born in the age of Aquarius. He has Aquarius sun and moon and Pluto. And he's Aquarius 4. And that's Hindu yogi demonstrates his healing powers. And it's about spiritual focus. And seeing that I've birthed Kopi, it's really helping me healing my imbalances and using my creative energies in making the wooden puppets. And the healing power, as I've seen it demonstrated when the puppet comes out in the public and the reactions by people who come across Kopi have really been amazing. It's bringing joy and to both children and adults.
Yeah.
What's interesting, here's the picture of the Hindu teacher, the painting. But to me, it also looks a lot like my last creative project, which was the Buddhas in the moon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a sign that seems to me to confirm my creative path that I'm on. So here's Yezban. That's the latest one. Yezban is the Hungarian for grief or mourning.
How do you spell that?
G-Y-A with an apostrophe, S-Z-B-A-N. Yesban.
Great, thank you.
And that has all the interesting pronunciations in Hungarian, like the silent G, the SZ is S. So what is Yesban's moon? It's at Cancer 3. Right where we were when I decided to do this presentation on the sun. And now Yesban shows up with a man bundled in fur, leads a shaggy deer. And to me, when I look at the picture again, it's who's leading who in this mourning process. And it's very fascinating for me. I'm exploring, I'm heading out into the world. So I went to Maker Space last night and made a hood and cape for Yesban and connected with people, and they've invited me to meet up, and so the whole world is opening up as I head out in this exploration with grief. And I just wanted to put this in here. I just love this comic. With the AI, I'm kind of going, I saw a quote where a woman said, well, I don't want AI to do my art and my writing. I just want it to do my dishes and my laundry. And so there's this kind of push and pull with AI, but then when I saw this cartoon, if you can see it, okay, it's everything changes, even AI. So nothing lasts forever, but you can enjoy parts of it. And my rebel with the red book is saying, well, I think things should be labeled, whether it's AI or whether it's human made. So with that, that's it for my Eagle presentation. And Eagle takes many forms. And from the artist monkeys and tricksters, that's the Chuen.
Wow, right on.
That's great.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good one, Steve.
There we go.
Right on.
So I'm interested to hear where others' moons are in the Sabian symbols.
Well, mine's the 29th degree of Sagittarius. And
And
I,
yep. Go ahead.
So I use the Dane Rudhyar's astrological mandala. I relate to those symbols, right?
Yeah. I just
And
ordered that book.
okay. It's great. It's a
Good.
great little book, yeah. And so the 29th degree of Sagittarius, the imagery in Rudyard's book is a fat boy mowing the lawn of the house on an elegant suburban street. So the need to tend to everyday tasks, which both ensure social growth or respectability and benefits one's constitution. Because he's a chubby boy, right? So it indicates that he should get out and do more work, basically. But there's also the thing about social respectability. And yeah, I can relate, and it's in my workhouse. It's in my 6th house of work in my chart. So I've always tried to have that balance of being a rebel, but not making it inaccessible.
Right on.
And of course, the Sagittarius has to do with sharing knowledge and traveling, and when standing on the hill, looking at the big picture and saying, "Hey, come and look at this," right? So that's been my life journey a lot. Is yeah, I had a television show that had people on, that were outside the main frame, basically.
Hey, you had
And
Louis Arkin on that one time.
yeah. I know. We took my camera crew. I was telling Lauren about this last night. Took the camera crew and went to the Bragg Creek place and did a little piece.
Right on.
And it was wonderful. It was wonderful. Yeah. So I can relate to all this. And the sun is the 29th degree of Capricorn, and it was about a woman reading tea leaves. And it's not the same, but I've been doing astrology all my life, right? And trying to make sense of what's out there and what's in here, right?
Right. I hear you there. That's what I've been trying to do with the last couple of years. And so when I found these Sabian symbols, and when I listen to Burgess, I just feel a trust. And I just resonate with the use of words and the use of the pictures. It's just feels like a niche for me.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a word that I was given, found out within the last month and a half, I would say, and it's pareidolia. And because I've been one of those people that have seen faces in clouds and in mountains and in rocks and in trees since I can't remember how long. It's always been there. And so it's a Latin word, pareidolia, P-A-E-R-A-D-O-L-I-A, pareidolia. And it's just, it describes people who have that gift. They've been given that gift. So you certainly have been given that gift, Steve,
Yeah, it feels like it. With
it's
doing
a gift.
this new moon and full moon meetings and then going out and everything from triangles to Vitruvian Man are showing up. So it's, I don't have to question it anymore. I can believe it and trust it.
It's just there.
Yeah. It's
part
amazing.
of your life.
Yeah, and it's fun.
Oh yeah, very fun. I've been lately taking photos with my camera when I see one. Oh, I got to show this, right? Yeah.
That's great.
Well,
Oh,
thank you, Steve. I appreciate you sharing your knowledge. I appreciate it. Thank you, Steve.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I just see with that that fat boy mowing in the elegant neighborhood,
Hmm.
the thought came to me where I'm at Gemini 5. So to
Hmm.
master that, to go to Gemini 4, which is the holly and the mistletoe.
Yeah.
But then at Gemini 3 is Sophia's sun,
Ah, okay.
which was shining on me brightly. And that is the gardens of the Tuileries, which is all about order, abundance, those in power, and its necessity in a sense. So when I hear you say, well, there's this order, there's this elegant area, that's what was
Hmm.
coming up for me. So I'm going back and then, whoa, there's Sophia. What did I learn from that as well? So it's really fascinating to
Neat.
work around wow, there's 360 degrees to play with.
Hmm. Hmm. Neat.
Thank you.
Hmm.
So doing that special word in this month, where is that Latin or Greek?
I think it's Latin.
It's great to me.
Great to me too. Yeah.
No, that's really hilarious. I don't know. I'm gonna have to locate that and play around with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I never spotted it.
I was amazed that there was actually a word for it.
Yeah, so it's definitely wordplay coming up for this
Yeah.
moon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, ladies first. Barb, would you like to go next?
I don't have my Sabian symbol because I don't really relate to any of these symbols. I don't know. You guys do, but I don't. So
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's the whole beauty of astrology.
Yeah,
Everybody
it's
has their
like
own.
I think I could invent one right away or something like that because it for me it's more like flexible. It's nothing which is like which you know it's like it doesn't feel right for me that it's written down what is changing all the times. So um, I don't get any information out of it either. Like you are doing, it looks nice with the deer, and when you explain it, it makes sense. But it's like it feels like you see it, but I don't see it. For
Yeah,
me,
I
I don't
believe it's
see it.
personal for sure.
Yeah, also mowing the lawn doesn't make me jump the chair, you know. It's like, what?
Yeah,
You know, it doesn't make
that's
sense. It doesn't give
obviously not a symbol for you.
No.
no, and I never related to it. So, but I can see everybody like all the astrologers are into it, and it was done in a certain period of time.
Yeah, in a
Where
day.
people were sort of visualizing something and they did write it down and they made a book out of it. So it's very orderly, very, I think it's like, for me, it feels like something which is a past energy. And I don't feel like I want to relate to it in a way because it's always flexible. I always see it changing. So maybe I'm wrong about it, but I tried hard because I listen a lot to astrologers and always there's some stories and then I see the picture like this fat guy mowing the lawn, for example. So I see a fat guy mowing the lawn and it doesn't give me any information at all. because I'm an intuitive person. Maybe you guys use your intellect and you press this
Yeah.
information into that picture. But it also
what-
makes sense.
What
you know,
Burgess
it
says
also
is
makes
that
sense
it's
for you, but not
using
for
both the right and the left brain,
Mhm.
and it's allowing the third eye to exercise. So
Oh, really?
for me, I find that fun
Yeah,
and
men
balancing.
are liking men like that a lot. I mean, all the astrologers I'm listening to, except maybe this one, he's always doing something different. But a lot of them are going for these fixed informations, so they have something to talk about. It's like they are sort of tying their camel to it, so they can talk about, and it's always possible to see it in a certain way. You know, it
Right.
gives you guys maybe a possibility to channel. Let's say so.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, having been
Yeah, it's great.
having been in accounting for so long, it feels refreshing that I can walk out and stare at a rock and see something different.
But I see that too, I see that too, but
Mhm.
I don't need to connect it to some Sabian symbol,
Mhm.
which was done by such and such in year such and such. And I don't know.
And it feels wonderful that I don't have to convince you to do Sabian symbols.
Great.
So we all play in our own arena. That's what I found with this astrology is so vast. And I was
Yeah.
having trouble grasping a hold of it. So this is giving me something to hold on to because I like literature. I love it. I love essays and I love art. And when I can blend the two, and who's to say maybe I want to paint my own Sabian symbols?
Yeah, that's a
Or
good
not.
idea. I
So there's
agree to
all sorts of possibilities with that
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But I
Yeah,
also
I
see the
think we can
beauty,
invent it right
in
away.
others' work as well.
Yeah.
And I also appreciate how Burgess, for example, has embraced it so fully, going for it. And to listen to his videos, his 9 to 11 minute videos, it's just really inspiring for me when he, and there's again the teacher, but then I can be the teacher in that as well. So it's, I'm finding it a lot of fun.
Mhm.
But we can always look up your moon Sabian if you want, Barbara.
Yeah, if you like, if you want to talk about it, it's fine for
Yeah,
me.
that was the whole, that was the
I have
purpose of the
no
meeting.
problems with it, but I don't
Yeah.
know it. I didn't look it up.
What is
ahead.
it? Where's your moon? What degree?
I don't know. I don't know the degree, and I didn't look it up. But Dwayne had it
Yeah,
in the
Oh,
invitation.
okay.
He had it in the invitation written down. He said something about, what was it? Some, I don't know, some people coming out of some caves or something. But as I said, it's not. Mhm.
Sun at Libra 12 degrees.
That's the sun?
Yeah. But we're looking at the moon, aren't we?
Right, yeah.
The moon is in
Pisces
Pisces.
moon at 20, rounded up 26 degrees.
Oh, that's my Mercury.
Haha. We have a connection.
Mm-hmm.
And Pisces 26 degrees. Here's the Dane Rudhyar version.
Mm-hmm.
Watching the very thin moon crescent appearing at sunset, different people realize that the time has come to go ahead with their different projects. A keen appreciation of the value of individualized responses to any challenge of life. That's what we're just talking, individualized responses. You've
Right.
got yours, I've got mine,
Yeah.
Steve's got his, and so on.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
This is good. Rather obscure original notation for this zodiacal degree, which was a new moon that divides its influences. The new moon. Translated into practical terms, refers to the fact that, confronted with the opportunity to expand their energy along new lines, modern individuals will react according to their own personal characters.
Perfect.
One basic cosmic spiritual impulse will lead these varied personalities to take equally varied steps. In any society that glorifies individualism, everyone should therefore accept this fact and not try to compel other individuals to conform to a single pattern of response. That's just amazing. You know, what came up in your discussion?
Yeah.
You know, the fallacy of totalitarianism. I love it.
That's great.
That's so you, Barbara.
Yeah.
I don't, yeah, if you see it like this. Yeah, maybe
It's
that's it,
individual.
you know, because I'm really like radical about it. And also with the Mayan calendar, I mean, you guys are using the calendar so like rules with the rules. And I like to do tarot readings with the glyphs, for example. I like to use them more flexible. I don't like reprogrammed shit, you know. It's like or stuff which is already written down. I lose interest. I always need to have that energy which is not there yet. Which is probably also connected to where my moon is. You know, it's like this. This is why I also more productive when the moon is growing. And before full moon, the week before the full moon is my personal space where I sort of have the most power to do things. So yeah. I'm always looking in front instead of into the books or into this is like maybe there we are connecting, Steve, because of this revolution. I don't, you know, but when something is done, I lose interest. It's like the pioneer energy. This is the rebel energy. This is like where's the next path, you know? That's like being in the woods. Walking in the woods, and you know, you don't have a path, you have to create the path. And that's I love it.
Yeah, I feel for it's all personal with my Pisces and Aries cusp being a dreaming pioneer. I could dream what I like. So I think the words kind of give me an impetus or a connection. And when I hear you talking about that it's old or it's stale, I find I can press the refresh button on a word, like the new word that Dwayne created. Or the word can have a different meaning based on where I am in life now. Like I see that red book a lot differently now than I did when I was a teenager in my symbol. So, but I agree with you, and it's exactly what's in your Sabian symbol saying, you have your way, I have my way, and we meet somewhere in the field.
And Barb, we've got in your chart, moon in Pisces, north node in Aries. So that to me is what you're expressing. You're one pointed and you want the newness, you're breaking trail. It's
Yeah.
that's for other people, you're
Yeah.
right on the edge all the
Yeah.
time. That's natural.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
my life is all
Dharma.
about.
It's the Dharma point.
Yeah, I'm totally agreeing with that. And I always feel like I'm walking on the cusp of a mountain, to the right side there's nothing, and to the left side there's nothing. It's just a path. And that's like kind of then I cannot see the Sabian symbols. So that I was always
Yeah.
puzzled why I don't see it.
Mm.
Now we found out why, because there's nothing and there's nothing. So it's this air, it's all air on both sides, sky.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of a skywalker, which is going on the mount and it was scary sometimes, because you cannot stop, and there's no very often there's like no time to even sit down on that path, because you have to walk until there's a little space where you sort of can say, okay, I might rest and enjoy the vision, like you're enjoying this vision under the tree now. I love that vision. I like that spot very much. This
Mhm.
is like, it could be my spot.
Mhm.
And I hope you show us more about that spot, because I relate to that spot.
Mhm.
Like you said, you want to buy yourself some new cameras or
Right.
some goggles to look through and bring in the boats which you are seeing, so you
Yeah,
can
I want to get a camera that has the zoom, so I can
right
take
zoom
some.
camera. Right. This is
Because
a
at that spot there is a beautiful blue heron, but just with the phone camera, it looks like another
wow.
rock. So
Yeah.
yeah,
But
so
you will see
it's
this place you can call things
yeah,
in. You can
yeah,
pull in whatever, all of us.
yeah,
And that's for me is a Sabian symbol.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you
But I
can
wouldn't have found that. I don't
create
know
the
that I would
Sabian.
have seen it that much without having the significance to add to as a catalyst for me. For example, I was just looking at that Cancer 3, where it was showing up about shall I do the presentation or not? And then suddenly Yespan has this Cancer 3 degrees
Wow.
in its moon, and it's about approaching life to be comfortable
All
and
right.
saying that's what a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I've done that. I'm feeling quite comfortable. I've achieved that. And so what's next? And this is telling me through doing the presentation plus with Yespan, it's telling me life is an adventure. Uh, get out of the comfort zone, travel, adventure, do that. And it's reminding me
Mm-hmm.
that it could be very easy for me to just sit here comfortably and isolate myself. But I ventured out yesterday and went to the makerspace and met people, and we made a, um, a hood and or
The
Yespan.
outfit. Yeah.
So I
The
ventured out.
outfit.
I ventured out knowing that symbol
Mm-hmm.
from Yespan, and I ventured out. And last night I made the hood,
Oh
and
my God. How nice.
yeah,
Great.
Wow.
Expressive.
Yeah.
Really.
and that's Yespan in morning. And I met new people and new adventures and a lot of fun. Great
Great.
making this hood, and or in a couple of hours and
Is this
playing with
is
the
this a
sewing
t-shirt?
machine.
Is this a t-shirt or is it a new material you found? Did these people make it for you or did you make it, the hoodie?
No, it was a collaboration because that's what I was looking, that's what my desire is. I mean, I thought I was making wooden puppets and playing with wood, and suddenly it's opened up to the world of theater. And there's costuming and voices and presentation and help.
Yeah.
And I connected with these people, and yeah, I put it through the Surge machine, which, you know, I don't have one here, but it's available, and I was able to help lay out the pattern and cut it out, and it was a collaboration. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And you meet other artists as well.
Yeah,
Be-
yeah, the whole
Because-
space is just filled with artists, painters, and
Great.
jewelry makers, but
What's
see,
it called
they're
again?
not into, pardon me?
What is it called? The look
Makers space.
maker's space.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very
And
good.
there's one here in Nanaimo that focuses on woodworking. And this one in Parksville, which is 25 minutes away up the coast. And I love the drive and I love the place. You walk in there and there's like tables and about 15 sewing machines.
Mm.
And so they're all focused in costuming. And so my master puppeteer in our Zoom call, he said, yeah, in module 5, we're gonna have a professional woman puppet costume maker present. He said, so show them that video. So I'm gonna take that, and I offered that yesterday, and we're gonna watch that together. And so now I have collaborators to help and a place to make the costumes.
Wow.
Wonderful.
That's
Manifesting.
great.
And that just unfolds by the will of adventure and going out. And now I've got a maker space that's really very close to me, but I looked at them and they were all about woodworking. Where this other one, they don't want dust. Where the woodworking one, well, they don't want dust because they have vacuum systems, but so now I'm making a Dremel box and I'm thinking of Field of Dreams when it says build it, they will come. So I'm building this Dremel box, which is to use a Dremel high-speed tool to carve the wood and hook it up to a shop vac that takes the dust away. And then I can make puppets faster. And it's all part of the program as well. So my next adventure is to step into this other makerspace in the world of woodworking.
Good.
But I'm being reminded, much like I mean, I pull cards as well. They're kind of a reminder of me, for me, okay, what's happening now? So before I went to this makerspace yesterday, I pulled a card from the map, kind of a compass deck. And the card was home. And the card's meaning is home is where the heart is. And so when I went there, I felt at home because
Wow.
we're playing creating stuff. So again, I just use that as a catalyst, and I'm just having fun, whether it's cards or Sabian symbols, and not to the point of overwhelm, whereas to trying to take on the whole astrological world, I was finding that difficult.
No, you have to have your tools.
Mhm.
I mean, not everybody gets the same tools. That's really like
That's
it.
exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
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 And when you're good at something like carving, then all the other people will show up because it's like you have something to communicate and to offer to somebody else. Like somebody can be inspired by your stuff you're making.
Yeah, I
Mm.
could feel that. It was just a real back and forth of energy to.
Yeah, I love that. This is like what's so beautiful with artists.
Mhm.
I really miss that. I really miss that because he is
Yeah.
like, but I mean, you have to call it in, and then you probably, like you said, you opened up to it, and you're not just sitting and watching. But it's so beautiful to have that space, this power place, and you can
Mhm.
contemplate there under the tree or with
Yeah.
the tree, and then probably this stuff, what you are sort of saying, oh, I want to have this or that next in
Yeah.
my life, it manifests because this,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm feeling how quickly it can manifest, where I could sit back and say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. But I stepped out,
yeah,
like the first guy I meet,
yeah,
when I said, I need to make a friend that has a saw. The first guy I met, a
yeah,
flute maker, and he's
yeah,
got a bandsaw.
yeah,
I go, that
Oh,
didn't take very much. He says, yeah, come over and use the bandsaw.
cool.
And it doesn't, but it requires movement.
yeah. And I think you're also stepping into another space. This is not like the real world. It is like you put out this, you live differently, you live more conscious because you
Yeah.
did put out that wish or that next, you opened yourself up to the cosmos, and then the
Yeah.
cosmos answers. And
Yeah.
it's not like you were looking for that person. Normally we always think ego, ego, ego. I have to look for somebody. No, we
No,
have to
it's
have the power to
right.
manifest,
Yeah. And
isn't it?
it's connecting into spirit, spirituality, in spirit,
Yeah.
inspired by what
And
shows up.
And it feels like it's the right way. Then you have the confirmation, okay, the path is opening up to a wider field where you sort of can be with a group, and
Mhm.
everybody has tents up, and
Yeah.
there's a fireplace and there's food.
The opportunities.
There's
I mean,
music.
yeah, I've been invited to their hiking group and
Yeah. And you're going to be invited for food, and you're going to be invited for singing.
oh yeah, that's funny you talk about food. Now here's the Sabian symbol for today is about um, a group overeating
Oh,
and
more.
and enjoying it.
Okay, and enjoying it.
Yeah. So what happens last night after my puppet making and my costume making? I drive by a favorite restaurant because everything closes at 9 o'clock. But this
Yeah.
place is a resort, so I went in and bought their fungi truffle pizza
Wow.
and ate it on the drive home, and I just kept eating it and eating it, and here I am overeating and enjoying it and going, yes, that's a celebration. And then when I looked up, oh, what's the symbol for today? There it is. So
Wow.
I'll have to say I'm blown away by the Sabian symbols at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying this overeating together.
A feast of symbols.
Hmm. So Dwayne, your symbol for the moon,
Yeah.
where are you?
Aries, 19 degrees, which is the magic carpet. I've always loved
Oh,
it.
oh, okay. That's what you were sharing on the lightning path with Joanne.
Joanne, exactly. The magic carpet of Oriental imagery, the use of creative imagination. A way of life refusing a hectic involvement in social competition and waste-producing overproduction allows for the development of unattached and transcendent understanding. The static floor, the carpet, on which man's feet, symbols of understanding, rest can become transformed into the means for great flights of imagination and superphysical perception. A period of rest from outwardly directed activity bound to collective normality presents the creative mind with the possibility of surveying in dreams the totality of the present day situation, thus to see whole. Always my aspiration.
Mm.
Possibility of developing a new technique of perception, a strife transcending and unattached outlook upon everyday reality. So I'm interested in, you mentioned Burgess talking about mastery of this symbol preceding.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really explored that. But when I
Mhm.
look to the symbol preceding, we get Aries 18, an empty hammock stretched between two trees. A constructive alternation of activity and rest. And it took me years to find my way into a really balanced, I would call it sadhana. In the East, they talk about your sadhana, your kind of your lifestyle.
Mhm.
And in the early days, I was getting way out of whack. I would be diving into my metaphysical studies and getting totally disconnected from just the day to day. Well, the life I'm living now and have now for several years is I get up early, I do my inner work in the morning, say up till noon, and then it's like I bust out of here. I'm outside, get
Mhm.
outside, connect with nature, get in the garden, do whatever. And this morning I'm out riding my bike at 5:30, going harvesting berries. It just feels so good. I feel so satisfied that I've had my chance to work with my next presentation. I'm fully involved, in that world. And then it's like, okay, I'm out of here. And maybe later I'll go over to the pub and I want to try out their pool table, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
So I'm interested in looking at this through that James Burgess suggestion. I think it's
Mhm.
a good one.
The mastery.
I mean, it's all eventually about self-mastery, isn't it?
Mhm.
But the
But did you mention there was something about rest in the
Yes.
first?
a constructive alternation of activity and rest.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Yeah, that's what I received that in the fact of it's okay to rest for like healing purposes versus the comfort. It can be kind of, oh, I'm comfortable, so I'm resting now, but I'm actually not doing anything. So when I heard that, oh yeah, right, that was in mine about this with Giaspan.
yeah,
Take the action, and it's also finding a balance of am I truly resting? Yeah. So wow.
yeah. Well, I'm a
Again,
napper from way back.
the visual of the hammock between the two trees.
I brought one back from Guatemala. It's one of my treasures in life.
Mhm.
Still going strong.
Wow. There you go.
And I was just saying, I've been a napper for many, many years too. That really works for me, especially as I'm aging.
The siesta.
Yeah, siesta.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I just really allow myself that time, and
Mm-hmm.
it's been very good for me.
Yeah.
And I kind of learned it from my ex's father, and he was an old cowboy, and he was a
Mm-hmm.
too. I kind of learned it from him. you know, like that it was okay to be a napper. It's okay to not always be doing something, you know.
Oh, okay.
That was great.
That's interesting. It doesn't sound like the cowboy way.
But you know, he was like that, and I can remember being at the Calgary Stampede,
Hmm.
and you know, I can't remember the name, but there was this famous cowboy, and I found him in one of the stalls, and there was a bench. It was up fairly high, and there he was. He was having a nap, and he just looked so regal. I mean, it was just so right, you know, in the midst of
Wow.
all this hubbub, and he's just gone off into dreamland. It was great.
Wow.
I actually got a photo of it, which I know is long gone, but
Hmm.
a Calgary Stampede story in the midst of
Yeah.
feasting.
Great.
Yeah. I see the piece of grass in the mouth and the hat
Yeah,
down and the boots up.
the boots. Yeah.
Wow.
So, Sari, will you be attending the Calgary Stampede?
No, I live in Victoria.
Oh, that's right. God,
Yeah.
I got to catch up with you. But you said you were dressed for the occasion. Or I thought you did.
But I'm wearing my cowboy hat because I know today the Stampede Parade starts, right? So,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
used to live,
I was in the Stampede Parade once.
were you?
Yeah.
I was as
Cool.
well. I represented my school, Hillhurst School.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
neat, neat.
And how about you?
I was, that was my graduation from clown college.
Ah,
We
that's
were
neat.
able to
Huh.
go out in front of the parade before it officially started. And I discovered that, you know, there's rodeo clowns and then there's clowns, and that it wasn't clown friendly.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, I got lassoed
Right.
and
Oh,
pulled off the thing. And I said, oh, I'll run across to the other avenue coming the other way and keep going. And then the RCMP comes up on the motorcycles and swears at me and tells me to get off.
what?
And Sophia had hopped on a float and she was just riding through the parade, waving her magic wand.
That's great.
And I was waiting for her at the end of the parade in the park. And that's where I was standing in my clown costume, and that little 11-year-old boy broke away from its mother and ran towards me and gave me a big hug.
Beautiful.
And I just went into tears. I did nothing
Huh.
clownish, but I was being a clown. And it just, the child just was drawn to it. And yeah, it really brought tears to my eyes.
Mm.
And that was the best part of the Stampede Parade.
Mm.
Otherwise, there was a lot of felt abusive
Mhm.
in a few instances. When you talk about the cowboy, that my father-in-law, he was a Southern Saskatchewan rancher, and he was my mentor as a 20-year-old. And so he taught me how to use tools, and I taught him how to ski and have fun.
Oh.
And we had a lot of laughs together. So yeah, I often say I'm a surfer cowboy.
Mhm.
And what was his name?
Dwayne.
No.
Yep. Spelled the exact same way.
Ah, I love it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
My other mentor.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. He had that common sense and but he worked, at that when I talked about that cowboy way, they working hard, always working, but as uh, he found I took him golfing. We had lots of laughs and skiing and to create a balance from his hard working days as he got older.
Right on. Beautiful.
Yeah, so it was a beautiful mentorship.
Hmm.
Well, in the lightning path, Joanne had mentioned you guys are born on the same day.
No, it's
Dwayne?
lunar cycle.
Same lunar.
The same lunar cycle. So I'm born at phase 5, and she's born at, well, or let's say 5 days after new moon.
Oh,
She's
okay.
She's up towards the full moon on
Oh.
Valentine's Day.
Oh, I see where it is. Okay, where that connection is.
Now, from
So
that thread, we got her moon was like, I can't remember it in this moment, but she was pointing out, or I guess I pointed out a discrepancy between the chart that, or the coordinates she presented as to what I had in her chart here.
Mhm.
And it turns out it's about going with high noon as the birth time or the exact time of birth. So that's a little meditation in there too.
Mhm.
Excuse me. And it goes back to this notion of, all of this information, the Sabian
Mhm.
symbols, all of the astrological symbols, I take them to be simply prompts. I got a frog in my throat. Excuse me.
Mhm.
They're prompts to help us open up to a bigger view, just as a way of exploring our collective unconscious and our personal unconscious. There's no hard and fast rule like this is how you're supposed to behave or anything like that. And
Mhm.
so I just really like opening up and seeing where these symbols take me.
Mhm.
It's usually a journey that has many twists and turns, but
Yeah.
the other hemisphere, then it's like the right hemisphere of the brain processes it way differently than the
Yeah.
left hemisphere. So this whole notion of bringing them into balance, that's really where the expanded wholeness is, in my experience. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm quoting. Well, I guess like the symbol for today, the feast, this feast of symbols that is out before
Mhm.
knowledge, and
Mhm.
just keeping it. And that's why I refer back then to the natal birth chart as like the center of the mandala, and all of these other things are out from that.
Mhm.
By holding that image of a natal birth chart in mind, we do have a reference point to bring things back to. It's like the mandalic life, it's
Mhm.
unfolding from this center point. And I at full moon, as we ended that last session, and I'm on, to the next day,
Mhm.
I had one of those mystic transmissions come through, and it's just mind blowing what has come through in the last couple of weeks here. So
Mhm.
I've already got pretty much in the can a full presentation for next full moon if you guys
Wow.
for it.
That's great.
But I know Barb, you had talked about having a presentation by then as well.
I don't know. It's like I had some downloads, and it's as far as I know, it's information which came through Sophia. Sophia was made me do this presentation, and I had never, it was the whole day, like it was like 6 or more hours, her standing next to me and making me do a presentation. And I had never
Maybe
done
she was
one.
working on me too at the same time.
Yeah, she can,
Wow.
you know. And then she
Me too.
yeah, she can, you know. And then I had it like all down, and it was in the middle of some other download, so I had to separate these two
Yep.
things and take a break. Like you said, you need to step away from something which comes and just do something different, you know. It's like, yeah, you know. And I started to crochet something because I had to organize all these threads and stuff.
Yep.
And in the end of the presentation was there, and I know how it has to go. So it's the information is there. And then I asked her, where are you? And the answer came, I'm in a library. And I said, what kind of library? She said she's in the library of Alcione. Alcione is the main star from the Seven Sisters, from the Pleiadians.
Beautiful.
And I was like, what? Yeah, she said she has a job there.
It sounds like her.
I thought,
She's
my
so
God,
enterprising.
how quick did she get a job somewhere else?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It sounded so much like her. It was the feeling so much like she is, you know, like bam, bam, but loving, you know, sweet. And she said, yeah, she loves it there, and it's her job there. And then later on, I thought, Alcione, Alcione, Alcione. That's the library where the Akasha records are from Earth. So it's all the Akasha records are there because of the Earth, Gaia, because Gaia is a twin to a Pleiadian star, which is called Maya. So they are twins. Gaia and Maya are twins, but Maya is always in the photon belt. She's almost not visible. But I thought, how cool is that? That she's with the Akasha records. You know, that's why she was talking. She was very interested always in that, you know. I remember that. And Steve, you must know better that she liked this Akasha records. You always talked also about it.
Yeah. Oh, she just loved books. She loved her library. She just,
I was like, what?
I mean, for the example of at 60 saying, well, she had a school when she was 4 years old and a hospital. She ran both of those as toys.
Wow.
And then at 60 decided to go take on Chinese medicine. And I see her books, I mean, they're this thick, and she studied those and she knew her stuff. And then talk about a job, she created another practice of TCM and acupuncture and herbals. I mean, she passed the herbal exams at the same time, which most people don't do. And she just had a love of study.
So, wow.
And the retention of it just amazed me. Like, I don't know how she retained. She was this fountain of knowledge.
She's a library herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, so it's like a space in the house here, the library. I mean, there's presidential libraries, and I go, yeah, I have no need to change that or move that. There's lots of information there, and
Yeah.
and Sophia set it up. So it's actually a very comforting spot.
Nice.
And
Yeah. So I
yeah,
don't know.
if anything, yeah, it's just she loved study.
I don't know her that much, you know, but this kind of information came while I was listening to this, to be in this now, what we were talking before, you know, it was this, and now what I do with my mouse, what was, you know, I was just sitting there like a pupil, and I said, now what, where should I go now? And this voice was sort of leading me. He said, oh, just open it, this, and then go there and have this, and I just had to put attention. So that was my only input I had to put in. And
Yeah.
I did. I never had kept myself open for so long, like as a channel. And I said, yeah, well, I wasn't even, you know, thinking. I was just doing it, and it seems to be an information she wants to bring through as a presentation. So I don't know.
She
I
loved
can
presenting.
wait.
She
I
loved
mean,
presenting, and now she can present through you.
Yeah, I was ready. I was ready, and I was open. I didn't ask, or I said no, maybe tomorrow or something. I just opened up to it in the middle of my own thing. And it's an information we can look at and see what everybody can sort of take out of it. But I want to make a video so we can sort of share it with, and Dwayne can show it whenever. It's a package. So I'm free if Dwayne wants to come over with the full moon presentation. It's okay with me as well. We can do it the next time, because it's also my son's birthday. So I wouldn't mind if I have a little bit more free space, but I also can sort of finish the video till then.
Yeah, I just wanted to say when I hear you speaking and how it seemed like Sophia kind of prompting, she knew the quickest way to get from A to B.
Yeah, and she was really like
there was a lightning, there was a
and sweet, you know, very sweet also, and it's very important information because it's also like something I never thought about, that we are on a time span where it's not linear. Nothing is linear. It was like from this picture, Dwayne, from the Sphinx head up into Hunabku, and all very historic, you know. It's like very historic, what every culture called that Hunabku energy, this energy from the galactic center. And something is happening.
She was very interested in that.
And she wants us to know. And it's interesting also with the number 7, which is the chakras. It's very, very interesting. And I can already see things happening like this, like you mentioned Biden, and on the, you know, it's like we have this energy from Saturn energy, law and order, and the other side is the extreme other side, the revolution and whatsoever. But then they come together, and it's popcorn. It's like it's nothing, you know. It just sort of things coming together, and they dissolve. it's very interesting. And it's
Hot oil and corn kernels.
yeah, like popcorn.
Mm,
So you will see, it's like this is like we will all get hyped up by something, and then the other energy comes,
yeah.
which is like the opposite energy. It's like an electric. It's like the predator and the victim are becoming the same thing, and it pops.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the main thing is in this information. It's really
Wow.
interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I look forward to that. So you're
Yeah.
deciding who's going to go.
No,
full moon?
it's like it's just happening, you know. It's like just all right, yeah. Let's make a plan who's making its presentation first.
Mhm.
You decide, Steve.
Oh, I decide who goes next.
No, I mean, or Dwayne. I mean, it's his platform, so he should maybe make the decision.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, then I will.
I heard you say that something about having a little more time because of your son's birthday.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
exactly the full moon. So I don't mind to have some more space.
Right.
And I have the information already. You guys don't have it.
Mhm.
So it's up to you. And
I think I have it. I just haven't heard about it yet.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see.
Hmm.
You put your thing out, Dwayne, first.
Okay.
Because then I can celebrate with my son. I can also be online and listening to your stuff. And I can send you the video because I will have the video done.
Mm-hmm.
This form, and then you can sort of do whatever you want to do with it, because it's kind of, you know, you have already the video more or less.
Yeah.
But I will also have the presentation worked on a little bit more, because tomorrow I get an upgrade with Canva, so I can have more access to other stuff, so to make it more beautiful even.
Okay.
And then I can do the recording. And
Yeah, that's exciting.
when I'm done with the recording, I send it to Dwayne via email, and then you can sort of do whatever you want to do with it.
Do you have any idea how long it is?
20 minutes maybe.
Oh, so we may end up, if I have that before the full moon, maybe we can run both of them.
Yeah,
They're really interconnected here from my vantage point. So
yeah, could be so. Yeah, definitely. Because
what came through for me was, if you'll recall, way back when, Steve, I got a hold of you and Sophia, and I said, this crop circle wants to be a part of our relationship.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And we did. We mapped out our natal suns and then the composite suns for each of us.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all based on the mother of all crop circles, is what they call it, the Barbary Castle. And actually, well,
did you say Barbara's Castle?
My castle, yeah. Barbary.
I'll tell you, it came in really loud and clear. It's like, yes, take this next step, and here's the mandala that you're working with, and it's triangulating, like having a trialogue. And there's a famous quote from Buckminster Fuller: "The universe is everywhere and always triangulating."
Wow.
So here we are going to the roots of consciousness, and, you know, through the symbolism, bringing it up and alive, bringing this crop circle alive is essentially.
Okay.
So, and it's just the very beginning. It's like you said at the end of our last session, Barbara, we're just getting started.
Right.
So true.
Yeah.
So now, like, this feels like a double whammy. I feel like she's been communicating with both of us simultaneously.
Well,
And, yeah, let's.
she presented me the triangle maps
So
from the seamanship book.
Yes.
So
That factors into why it triggered part of the download was me remembering the crop circle has the one circle with a
Right.
line in it, which is noted in trigonometry as the unit circle. That's what it's called, the unit
Oh.
circle. And there it
That's
is.
the first line in that
incorporated
map
into
is
that
about
crop
unit.
circle. And
Yeah.
there you were encountering it. And that jogged my memory and said, okay, let's go to the second trialogue here now. Maria's
Oh,
out there, but Barbara is here. So let's bring Barbara into the triangle.
yeah.
And this is all very exciting.
Wow.
and I'm doing I'm working on some presentation of the Crowley deck.
Right on.
And Crowley and Frida and another guy, there were three of them. They created the deck. So it's a three thing, which is like, and it brings me to the Rosicrucians, it's like the numbers, also which number belongs to what and what it's doing to the other. And this 7, which is like this magic 7 of our chakras, and the top and the end of how it relates to the heart. It's interesting. It's super interesting. And somehow we are in this crop circle finding all these numbers.
There's a whole other mystery. Wow.
And that was 1991 that came through. That's when crop circles were still kind of new. And it came on as like the most complex crop circle that had appeared since that time. And like I say, the mother of all crop circles is what they're calling it. So.
And it's information from inside of the earth. That's how I feel it. So it could be some Sabians who are like talking about Sabian symbols. I maybe make a new Sabian symbol that will relate it to the earth. So earth is communicating via the circles. Yes. So we guys sort of get information. And in my last reading for this new moon, it's also we are co-creators with earth, with Gaia. Yes. And since Gaia is related to the Pleiadians, and Alcyone, which is the main star from the 7 sisters, all the other sisters are turning around Alcyone. So it's the library, and there's all our knowledge there. Earth knowledge is Alcyone. So we are digging into something, and we have Sophia having all the books and all the information. And we just have to open up to downloads, we have to get used to it.
And there's your temple. Just open up to downloads. The empowered human, got the wedge in your head and the information.
I have it, It's like, but it's also expanding this channel. I mean, I always sort of, and that's why I also started the channel for the tarot readings, because that expands the channel in you.
Yes.
And then you can hold that energy longer and feel comfortable. Because after these downloads, you have to watch out. You get a really downer. You get a real downer, like with drugs, like it's like you kept yourself so much open, and have so much prana coming in that when it's gone, when it's closing, you sort of fall into deeper realms again, into reality. And then you get sad, or you get depressed, or you have to pull yourself up again and say, okay, you better do some knitting, or you do some crafting with your hands, because when you do something with your hands, your brain, both sides of your brain are adjusting. And it's like a sort of clean out. I had to, and also when you keep open so long, your stuff gets solved, your personal stuff.
Mhm.
It's like, oh my God. So it's like really interesting what's happening inside of yourself.
Yeah.
And that's also the information that we have to work much more inside than working outside and watching some other people falling apart, you know, some stupid shows which are falling apart. But, you know, it's like
Oh, yeah.
outside, it's so boring against that what's really happening inside.
Mhm.
And maybe we are sort of the pathfinder of that path to go inside.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to share with what Burgess shared about his work with the symbols is that it's
Okay.
understanding the self at a deeper level. And I feel that's what we're doing.
Okay.
And he's saying that's where the gold is. I mean,
Mhm.
that's how earthy is that?
Wow.
And yeah, it's using these symbols and words. I'm just loving it.
Yeah, so it's like everybody has this access to certain tools, and
Mhm.
when we bring them together, like Dwayne says, it's like one package deal, you know, from
Yeah.
like seeing it from different angles and getting the information through geometry.
Yeah. Which Sophia did. She taught that.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
But I want to acknowledge Dwayne and the commitment to this group and perseverance and I mean sharing your life work. It's really opened up a lot of doors. I'm just working on the fact, I guess, with its not being overwhelmed by it, as you say, Barbara. There's so
Yeah.
much, and I want to kind of ground what works for me,
Yeah.
and not walking around in overwhelm, but enjoying it and having fun with it.
Yeah, I can
Um,
see that.
and Barbara and Sari and Joanne for showing up. I
Yeah,
mean,
and
if
other
we don't show
people who
up,
are
then
listening
there's
to
then
the
there's
videos.
nothing. So and acknowledge James Burgess and his. I just feel the trust there. There's this trust, and Dane Rudyard, such an explorer. Talk about
Mhm.
going for it. I mean, I just feel like I've scratched the surface with what he created, and Elsie Wheeler, who brought in the Sabian symbols. I mean, that happened in a day. I don't know who she is, but there's this trust of she was obviously seeing symbols and signs, so that's what we're doing. So uh, why not trust it?
Mm.
And then Ruby Fumiski, her artwork, and I want to acknowledge Sophia, her sun painting, and her library work. And acknowledge all the thousands of people that are watching this and learning from it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Mm,
Right on.
yeah. Keep having fun out there.
Mhm.
Sherry, can we hear a little bit more from you before we sign out?
Who's that?
I just wanted to hear a little bit more from you before we sign out. We've been such a chatter here, but yeah, you've been
From
off.
me?
Yeah, no. Well, I'm asking you to just come forward a little bit just before we part.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've been I'm a big hermit right now
Yeah, well, you've got to
I
make
see that.
because I've got I've got some health challenges
right.
and I'm working at talking to the cosmic about it every day, and thanking for remission, perfect, total, permanent remission.
Mhm.
And I know that it won't happen by next Tuesday, I don't think. So I'm just looking after myself. And the thing about the hammock, oh yeah, naps are essential.
Right on.
Yep.
Right on.
They really are. And I've stepped back from my work, and I've my garden right now is good for my soul, and
Mhm.
I know that being gentle with myself and good for my soul is the way to heal. And
Right.
I've got all kinds of wonderful things, like visitors. Like my brother came. He lives in Regina. He was born in Regina, and he's been there ever since, and he's never been out here. So
Mhm.
a couple of weeks ago he came to visit,
Oh, good.
and that was so great. And my grandson, who I haven't seen for 9 years, he came about a month ago.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Yep.
and at the end of this month, he and my granddaughter, they're both coming just for a day, just to hang out, right?
Nice.
Yeah, and I know that I think they're motivated by knowing that my health is in challenge right now, and they want to make sure that they hang out with me, while I'm in a good space, right? So,
Beautiful.
yeah, it's really neat. It's really neat. So,
Mm.
and I've enjoyed all of your presentations. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Yeah. Gratitude, 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 eh? It's just
Absolutely.
Mhm.
That's my motto.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, on that note, we're coming up to the 2-hour point.
Okay.
Wow.
I am just so grateful to you guys for showing up once again. And you can imagine, I mean, my initial vision was for those 11 sessions, and we
Mhm.
took that out of the park. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
we go. It's just, of course,
That's
way more than I could have imagined. And I'm just really thankful. So
That's
Mhm.
good.
love you guys.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
looking
you.
forward to full moon. It's going to be a good one.
Thank you,
Oh, it's gonna
Yep.
be
Steve.
good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you, Sari.
Thank you, Barb. It's good.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.